This is We All Be News Free Dixie for the 21st century. See how it works? Somewhere. Can you dig it? It's We All Be News Free Dixie for the 21st century. Let's talk about the Trump card. I think people are missing the point, and somebody made a great point. If y'all get a chance, check out this white guy from Boston. He goes by Dark Journalist. The Dark Journalist. So, brother, he's real deep into the research about the JFK assassination. Very thorough, very, very thorough. A great investigative journalist. He lays out the connection between the JFK assassination and UFOs. And Trump made that big announcement on Thursday. He had a big announcement, and people thought it was gonna be something when he was announcing his Trump cards collections, or collect Trump cards like baseball cards, but the NFTs, right? NFTs, Trump cards, right? People think Trump is crazy. People don't realize that the day of his so-called big announcement was also the day that the government was release all the JFK files. The government was supposed to release all the JFK files. They should have released 5 years ago. You remember back in October 2017 when the government, because the JFK Records Act, they signed it back in 92, and they said within 25 years, the government will release all documentation related to the JFK assassination. And they supposed to did that in 2017 under Donald Trump on October 26, 2017, I believe. But they only released a few files, right? And Donald Trump allegedly told this judge, who they no longer friends, Judge Napolitano, I think it's Judge named Napolitano. The judge asked Donald why he didn't release all the files. He said he couldn't do it. He said, well, we the American people, we have the right to know. We deserve to know. He said, man, what I seen in them files, I don't think people are ready to handle what I saw in them files. And maybe those are the files that he took to Mar-a-Lago. That's why they so afraid of Donald Trump. But he announced that he was, instead of announcing anything like we thought would be a major seismic shift in the political landscape, he announced that he was selling NFT cards in his likeness, like baseball cards in his likeness. People thought he was a joke, but you know what? They sold out of his cards. Them things have sold out. This man made $4.4 million off them cards in one day. So they let you know that he still has a base that is strong for Donald Trump. And people think he's an idiot. He's far from an idiot. He's a showman. He's like P.T. Barnum on steroids, but he's telling you truth. It's like what Dave Chappelle said. He's an honest liar. Thank you, Mulberry Group Holes, for your donation, for your super chat. We love you madly. Yeah, I know several people that voted for Ye, but I voted for the Donald twice. The Donald, I voted for him twice. And it's not just our people, it's just the American people. It's the people in general. We worship, these celebrities. That's just the nature of the beast. This country is built on slave labor and also bread and circuses. You commit major crimes while people are distracted. While they looking over there, they doing stuff right here. They doing stuff over there. They doing something over there, over here. While you looking over there, it's a game, like Dick Gregory would say. But let me read about him selling out his baseball card. This We All Be News Free Dixie of the 21st century. We all be News Free Dixie for the 21st century. And this is from Forbes. I don't trust a lot of things what they say about people wealth and whatnot, but I'm gonna read this right quick. Donald Trump's digital trading cards sold out in one day, netting $4.4 million. Former President Donald Trump's line of digital trading cards sold out in a day, netting millions despite the massive ongoing slump in non fungible tokens and cryptocurrency, and a fair bit of mocking from some of his allies. The collecttrumpcards.com noted Friday that all 44,000 NFTs listed for sale on Thursday has sold out. Priced at $99 each, they collectively brought in nearly $4.4 million. The digital trading cards feature cartoon images of Trump in a range of different scenarios and activities. One card features him in hunting gear holding a gun, while another shows him dressed as a superhero. Despite the project's apparent popularity among his followers, some Trump allies spoke out against the venture, like his former advisor, Steve Bannon, who said on his podcast the Trump staff behind the decision ought to be fired. Excuse me. Trump's former national security advisor, Michael Flynn, agreed with Bannon, saying on an online stream that whoever advised him on that, I'll fire them immediately. Even Tim, whatever his name, Gionet or Gionet, whatever, Gione, or whatever, a far right internet personality who goes by the name Bake Alaska. Let's go with Bake Alaska online, and pleaded guilty to storming the Capitol on January 6th, tweeted, "I can't believe I'm going to jail for an NFT salesman." Hmm. The value of digital assets like NFTs and cryptocurrency have collapsed in the past few months, most recently with the shocking downfall of FTX, a cryptocurrency exchange. Trump's cards seem to have bucked the trend, with some of the NFTs appearing on the secondary market on platforms like OpenSea for about $218. Okay. The NFT project is Trump's first big move since announcing last month he will once again run for president. He hinted at the announcement for days before, leading some followers to believe he may be announcing a running mate or something major dealing with potential upcoming indictments. Hmm. Three polls released this week found his popularity among Republican voters has fallen significantly. His rival, Florida Governor Rob DeSantis, has seen his popularity surge in the same time frame. GOP officials like Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell have also blamed Trump for the party's disappointing midterm results. Okay. Um this is a win for Trump to me. I don't really care for it, but Trump overstands his base. He's great at marketing. I don't think this is a bad idea because I remember, and it's almost 20 years ago, when they came out with cards dealing with the second Iraq War. I think Saddam Hussein, they had playing cards. How you do playing cards, you know what I'm talking about. And they had the faces of Saddam Hussein on them. I think let me see if I can find them. And it was gimmicky. I remember a friend of mine, the late great Judge D. Army Bailey, he had a set of cards dealing with the second Iraqi War, and it had the likeness of Saddam on it, I think, and some other people. If I'm not mistaken, let me see. Let me find it. Find an example of what I'm talking about. I don't know if they had the Bush administration or I can't remember. It's been a while. I'm trying to see if I can find it. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna show it. I mean, history is a weapon. I think people got just a short memory about things. See, it's a game. Like Dick Gregory told us, it's a game for a reason. It's a game. It's a game. And let me show you. I found the playing cards they had came out back 20 years ago. I can't believe that been 20 years ago almost next year. Iraq's most wanted playing cards. You see that? Saddam Hussein. He's an ace of spades. Okay, I guess that's the big three, but that's Saddam. Y'all remember them cards? When people had them cards? I mean, people losing their lives and people think it's just a game. People don't mean anything. It's like they said, Joseph Stalin said, when one man dies, it's a tragedy. When a million people die, when a million men die, it's a statistic. It's a statistic. A statistic. It doesn't mean that much. So we've been so desensitized to the BS. But what's the difference? You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. What's the most expensive baseball card? It used to be the Honus Wagner card. Let's see what the most expensive baseball card is. Excuse me. It used to be Honus Wagner. I used to collect baseball cards when I was a kid. Hey, it's still the Honus Wagner, right? Let me show you this. You got the Mickey Mantle rookie card, of course. This show how weird this thing is. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on in our world, man. But I'm just trying to give y'all an example. Hmm. I guess whatever the market will pay for, like what makes something more expensive than another, just pieces of paper, man. You got the Mickey Mantle 1952 Topps card is worth $2.8 million. But then here's a the Honus Wagner card, right? On this list is worth $3 million. So this is a baseball card from 1909, 1911. The Honus Wagner 1909 through 1911 ATC T206 or T206 is the most expensive baseball card in the world. Let me see. Let me see an image. See how what I'm talking about. I used to love baseball, man, growing up. My grandfather was big into baseball. My maternal grandfather, it's funny because you look at the Cardinals on TV or the Cubs, and like he loved to smoke these cheap cigars. So I remember after he passed, sometimes I look into baseball games, I could still smell those cheap cigars for whatever reason that made my eyes used to water back in the day. But he was dead. I don't know what that's about. But he actually had a chance to play professional baseball. He had a shot. He was a pretty good baseball player during the war. He was actually scouted by a white professional baseball player who said he was good enough to play pro, and he told him he should try out with the Kansas City Monarchs. But he ended up getting injured in the war. He was involved in the Battle of the Bulge and got hurt real bad. Like one year, my grandfather had to be wrapped up, in we called it bandaged up for a whole year. He had tuberculosis real bad. He lucky he survived, but he was 100% disabled from the war. And he didn't start getting his pay until 1955. World War II ended in 1945, from my understanding and research. but they had him in a full body casket, a cast, just wrapped up like a mummy for about a year because of he had real bad injury. But he was encouraged by this white baseball player to try out. But this is the card, this Honus Wagner T206, right? It's worth anywhere from $3 million to $6 million, from what I read. Okay. I think Wayne Gretzky owned one at one point. I don't know if he still own that card, but what a hell of an investment, huh? You know. So y'all think Donald Trump is a fool boy for doing what he's doing, but there's a market for those type of collectibles out there, which is insane. You think about it, very much insane. But kind of read about it because Honus Wagner. The reason why that card is worth so much because Honus Wagner was a teetotaler. I don't think Honus smoked or drink, and he didn't approve of the tobacco company using his likeness because a lot of tobacco companies would make these baseball cards back in the day, but he did not approve of them using his likeness, and so they destroyed a lot of them. Let me see. I'm just trying to just do a quick. It says started from January 1909, the ATC, the American Tobacco Company, sought authorization from baseball players for inclusion in the T206 series, which will feature 524 major league players, 76 of whom would later be inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Wagner had been at the top of his game. Honus Wagner was a brilliant shortstop. They just called him the Flying Dutchman. Played for the Pittsburgh Pirates. He played in the first World Series. He was one of the first of 5 people inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame back in 1936. It was him, Christy Mathewson, the brilliant pitcher for the Giants, the New York Giants, Ty Cobb, Detroit Tigers, controversial Ty Cobb, Babe Ruth, the Bambino, and Walter Johnson, a great pitcher for the Washington Senators. They were the first 5 players inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. That's how great and revered he was. Wagner had been at the top of his game throughout the decade and was even considered to be the game's greatest player at the time. He had appeared on advertisements for a number of other products such as chewing gum, gunpowder, and soft drinks. Unsurprisingly, the ATC, the American Tobacco Company, asked for Wagner's permission to have his picture on a baseball card. According to an October 12, 1912 issue of the Sporting News, Wagner did not give his consent to appear on the baseball card. In response to the authorization request letter sent by John Gruber, a Pittsburgh sports writer hired by the ATC to seek Wagner's permission, Wagner wrote that he did not care to have his picture in a package of cigarettes. He threatened to seek legal action against ATC if they went ahead and distributed his baseball card. But they produced it anyway, right? But they rare because he didn't want them to distribute them. So there's a couple of reasons. That the reasons for Wagner's strong negative reaction to the ATC's request have been the subject of much speculation. The most commonly told account is that Wagner rejected the deal because he did not want young baseball fans to purchase the tobacco packs for his baseball card. Wagner held his fans in high regard, particularly the younger ones. His granddaughter Blair remarked that he loved children. He wanted to teach kids good sportsmanship. When it came time for that card to come out, it wasn't that he wasn't paid. He didn't want kids to have to buy tobacco to get his card. However, Wagner chewed tobacco, and he had previously appeared in advertisements for many tobacco products, including a cigar baseball trading card in 1899 and a newspaper ad for Moret cigarettes during the 1909 World Series. Another explanation surmises that Wagner did not consent because he felt he was not receiving just compensation from the ATC for his baseball card. Wagner had a history of being a tough negotiator. He had announced his retirement from baseball in December 1907, but returned shortly before the start of the 1908 baseball season after receiving a $10,000 contract, double his salary for the 1907 season. It's like he was Tom Brady before Tom Brady. This theory has its flaws. However, since Wagner sent Gruber a check for $10 to compensate him for the fee ATC would have paid him if Wagner had given permission to create his baseball card, Michael O'Keefe and Terry Thompson, authors of The Card Collector's Con Men and the True Story of History's Most Desired Baseball Card, asked why Wagner would compensate Gruber for $10, a substantial amount of money at the time, approximately equal to $275 in 2016, if he refused authorization for monetary reasons. The ATC had already produced a number of T206 Honus Wagner baseball cards. The exact number is unknown, but is speculated to be between 50 and 200. They stopped production of the card, however, after Wagner denied authorization. So they did produce it anyway. And there you go. It's the world's most expensive baseball card, certain estimates from $3 million to $6 million. There you go. A white man. It couldn't be no Jackie Robinson. It couldn't be Willie Mays. It had to be a white man named Honus Wagner, who had a lot of respect for black baseball players, actually. Well, they say he chewed tobacco. So, I mean, but I'm saying this is the thing about white people when they tell their stories. The truth, they never let the truth get in the way of a good story. Never let the truth get in the way of a great story. This is why the history is weird, because I used to hear that Honus didn't use any tobacco products, and now they're saying he chewed tobacco, but he didn't want kids to have to buy tobacco to get his baseball card. I mean, they said he told him not to produce the cards, but yet he paid the dude that was responsible for getting his signature for authorization a fee of $10, and then they produce a certain amount of cards. They don't know how many, but allegedly these cards are worth millions and millions of dollars. So Donald Trump is just doing what Americans do. We it's like you see the movie the Elvis movie. You should see the Elvis biopic that came out with Tom Hanks playing Colonel Parker. It's actually a good movie. There's a scene at Elvis Mansion where Tom Parker showing all the merchandise they produce in the name of Elvis Presley. Like, he not only produced pro positive Elvis Presley merchandise, but also they were selling pens, like pens, button pens, whatever. Said I hate Elvis. He actually had the market corner on I hate Elvis products. Cause there's no such thing as bad publicity. So I mean, if you make all this pro Elvis stuff, but also make some stuff I hate Elvis t-shirts or pin buttons, whatever, for people that hate you. Because your haters are your fans too. They deserve some product. So I mean, I don't know. But anyway, but like, it's funny that was released, and then I'm gonna prove that announcement that Donald Trump did came out the same day that they supposed to release the JFK files. Let me find an article about that. I don't think I'm gonna read it, but I'm just gonna find it. Uh, it's about the JFK files. Is that they post release? boy. All of the remaining JFK files were originally supposed to have been released in October 21. In October 2021, Biden postponed that planned release, citing delays caused by COVID-19 pandemic, and announced that they will be instead disclosed in two batches, one on December 15, 2021, and another by December 15th, 2022, after undergoing an intensive 1-year review. If you're going to release all the remaining JFK files, why you got to postpone it and say you give two dates, and then they release something yesterday, but it wasn't all the files. And the files that were not released have been pertaining to the CIA. What do the files say about the CIA's involvement in the JFK assassination in creating the Lee Harvey Oswald project? You know what I'm saying? So they lying. So why are they afraid to release? Because most of the key players, they all dead. I mean, George Bush Sr. died. What that 2018 or 2019? Wife dead. I mean, all the major players are dead, right? But you got to understand the people that benefited from the assassination of Kennedy, the corporations, they still around. And they might have contracts with the government. You know what I'm saying? So then you look at the CIA, now people talking about defund the police. What do you think people gonna be saying about the CIA if they found out their connection to the JFK assassination? So they even released everything they supposed to release. They supposed to release it yesterday, but they did not release everything. So why are they afraid to release these things? They didn't release all the files, or did they? See, you look at the mainstream news. They say they released. National Archives releases over 13,000 JFK assassination files. Right, this is New York Post. The National Archives released more than 13,000 documents related to the assassination of President John F. Kennedy Thursday, while President Biden ordered thousands of other records kept on the wraps until at least the middle of next year. So they're not really, they keep on, they mislead in the news. They say they released all 13,000 files, but he got stuff he's still hanging on to. What are they redacting in those files? And them files they hanging on to got to deal with the CIA. They do not want to release them files. They got to deal with the CIA. And Donald Trump made his baseball card announcement on the same day they supposed to see they what they're afraid to say. That's why they raided Mar-a-Lago. It got something to do with JFK and UFOs. People thought Donald Trump probably going to release something big as it pertains to those files that he got at Mar-a-Lago. But it's like what Dave Chappelle said in Saturday Night Live monologue, in his recent Saturday Night Live monologue, that the one thing you don't steal from work is work. So whatever Trump is sitting on is a powder keg. Because even you talk about Richard Nixon. You know, Richard Nixon was deep and heavy in this stuff, right? You know, he's in the Watergate and the Kennedy thing and the Bay of Pigs, and when you got Roswell and Jackie Gleason, the famous comedian. He said that Nixon showed him UFOs. He showed him that aliens were real. Like, Jackie Gleason was big into UFOs and aliens and stuff like that. He was big into that deep state stuff. And he was friends with Richard Nixon. And Richard Nixon allegedly showed him some things down in Florida. And you could Google this stuff up. Because I believe that I don't know if I believe, but Valiant Thor, the Nordic alien, whatever, met with Eisenhower administration. That may be true. The Valiant Thor thing, right? And we say it's not true, but why not? They make movies about stuff like that. And these movies, a lot of this is predictive programming. Because even look at the media, the CIA controlled the media. It's Operation Mockingbird. I'm not gonna ever forget when that journalist from 60 Minutes got killed in that weird car accident. See if I can find that. But let me read. He said, okay, this is from New York Post. It said President Biden ordered thousands of other records kept on the wraps until at least the middle of next year. The trove of documents were made public after Biden issued an executive order authorizing their release. The significant disclosure reflects my administration's commitment to transparency and will provide the American public with greater insight and understanding of the government's investigation into this tragic event in American history. Biden wrote in his order. An initial review by the Post found few new revelations about the events of November 22nd, 1963, when Kennedy was shot while riding in a motorcade in downtown Dallas. One document appeared to shed light on how the CIA intercepted assassin Lee Harvey Oswald's communication with the Soviet embassy in Mexico City a few weeks before the murder. The previously redacted agency document shows that a wiretap operation targeting the embassy was done with the help of the office of the Mexican president, but without the knowledge of Mexico's internal security or law enforcement officials. In that call recorded, turn that off. In that call recorded October 1st, 1963, Oswald asked an embassy guard if there was anything new about a telegram a Soviet diplomat had promised to send to Washington on Oswald's behalf. The guard answered that the message had gone out, but no answer had been received. A report on the call was sent to the FBI, State Department, and Navy Department. Okay. This stuff is weird, man. Why are they hiding? At this writing, December 13th, 1963, we do not know what action the FBI and other agencies may have taken based on our report. The CIA report said. Another CIA report for September 1964 described an intimate lunch between American and Soviet officials in Helsinki. At the meal, Felix Karasev, a KGB general, stated that he thought Jack Ruby, the Dallas nightclub owner who shot and killed Oswald 2 days after the Kennedy assassination, was a tool of reactionary forces and that he had help from some U.S. officials. We tried to debunk this impression, but Karasev held to his views, the document read. Early in the conversation, the Americans questioned what really happened to Oswald during his stay in the USSR after he defected in 1959. Karasev caught the implication the report read and replied that this would have been possible if Oswald had been in China, but not in the Soviet Union. In total, 13,173 new files were made public Thursday, the largest release of JFK assassination material since 2018. Approximately 4,400 documents are still being withheld to protect against identifiable harm to the military defense, intelligence operations, law enforcement, or the conduct of foreign relations that is such gravity that it outweighs the public interest in disclosure, the White House said. More than 3,000 other documents are being withheld in full or in part because they were under seal, were part of grand jury proceedings, or involve individuals' tax information. And they don't care about Donald Trump's tax information or details of gifts or donations to the U.S. government. Those documents cannot be released independently by the archives, the White House, or the executive branch. Okay. One document appeared to shed light on how the CIA intercepted assassin. Did I read this right? Okay. It's like they're repeating themselves. I mean, the Biden's order set a new deadline of May the 1st for the National Archives and the agencies to review the remaining redacted documents and propose keeping any material under wraps beyond June 30th, 2023. The 1992 law, understand what I'm saying? This was a law. The 1992 law required the government to release all non-exempt documents related to the 35th president's murder by October 2017. That should have been done. This was a law. They breaking the law. This is they not even following their own rules. This is a law. A law is a law only if it's enforced. They're like, this was a suggestion. This was a law. Former President Donald Trump released some 2,800 secret records in 2017, and the Biden administration ordered the release of nearly 1,500 more records last year. Kennedy became the fourth U.S. president to have been assassinated while in office when Oswald fired at his motorcade from the sixth floor of the Texas School Book Depository in downtown Dallas on November 22nd, 1963. This man did not fire the gun that day. He had no residue, implying that he fired the gun on his hands. Now, post-mortem, they put his fingerprints on the gun, but this stuff is crap. Like they signed a law when Bush was president that they had to release everything. And to me, that means when you release this stuff, it shouldn't be redacted. That's just me. but they let you know that there's a lot. That's why they so mad at Trump, because whatever he got, it may be related to the JFK thing. It may connect JFK to UFOs. You got to think about JFK was real close to the first Secretary of Defense, James Forrestal. He was the first Secretary of Defense under Harry Truman. James Forrestal was against Zionism. He didn't want the state of Israel to be formed. He was against that. Um, he was on Majestic 12. Y'all, if y'all know anything about Majestic 12, look up Majestic 12, the Majestic 12 group. He was a member of that. And allegedly, he committed suicide by falling from his window, I think 16 floors, at the Navy Bethesda Hospital. The Bethesda Hospital, the Bethesda Naval Hospital in Maryland, right? Same place where they did Kennedy's weird autopsy that's supposed to be done in Texas. The same place where they got rid of Senator Joseph McCarthy. The same place where they got rid of Frantz Fanon, the Pan-Africanist thinker and philosopher. The same place where they were trying to take Reagan when he got shot at, the assassination attempt. They wanted to take Reagan to the Naval Hospital in Bethesda, but they ended up taking him to George Washington University Hospital because it was closer. And they may have saved his life by going to George Washington instead of Bethesda Naval Hospital. But this is the same place where they took Trump when he had this stuff, and Trump got his assets out of there ASAP. Trump got there real quick. He said, "Look, I'm healthy. Look at me." They had him in the car, whatever. Look, I'm good. I'm good to go. He want to stay in on Naval Hospital at Bethesda. But Kennedy was close to James Forrester, and they suicided him, and that's interesting. But is it a coincidence that Trump will announce the big card thing, the NFT Donald Trump baseball cards, on the same day that the government's supposed to release the rest of the Kennedy files that's supposed to be released on October 2017? Is there a reason why they had to raid Mar-a-Lago? Ain't no other president has ever been treated like this. No other president has ever been treated like Trump been treated. He is being seen as a pariah by his own party, and they want to blame him for everything. I never seen a president, no Obama, no Clinton, nobody, even Richard Nixon never got the treatment that Donald Trump got. Hell, Donald Trump got impeached twice and won. Richard Nixon couldn't even stand up for one impeachment. He resigned. I am not a crook, but I gotta get out of here. I will get out of here. I'm not a crook. I'm not a crook. But look, it's like a witch hunt when it comes to Donald Trump, man. It's like, why can't people see? It's like I can't even talk to my own people about politics because they get all emotional about Donald Trump. They like Donald Trump stole their their firstborn. You like Donald Trump, did something horrible to your family personally. Yet 10 years ago, y'all loved Donald Trump, an apprentice and all that. 7, 8 years ago, all the rappers wanted to be Donald Trump. Got all these songs about Donald Trump. So I'm saying, and then they want to king make Ron DeSantis. Y'all on the DeSantis train. They got some stuff on DeSantis. It is what it is, folks. Y'all keep on thinking that. See, sometimes you got to dance with the devil that you know. We know all the downsides to getting with Trump. We know all the stuff, all the baggage with Trump. Trump got a lot of baggage, but it's the way he carried his baggage. Trump is not defeated or deflated. And at the same time, I don't put all my hopes and dreams to anybody. I think you make a big mistake when you do that. I mean, I remember people saying if so-and-so ran for mayor, I'm going to move to Memphis. I'm going to do this. It's not. And look, don't put your hopes and dreams to anybody but yourself. Stop. I like somebody going to bail you out. You see what happened in the 60s, right? One man have a dream. Then it becomes a collector's nightmare when that dreamer is snuffed out. Okay. So, I mean, like, people got to start thinking about things in a different way. We got to start moving in a different way. You know what I'm saying? Stop putting your hopes and dreams that one man is bigger than Donald Trump. Is the ideal. If Donald Trump was Hitler, how come he got kicked off of Twitter? You think Hitler in his prime would have got kicked off any social media platform in his country that he was running? You think Hitler would have been disrespected on a comedy show on a weekly basis in the country that he was running? Hitler would control all the networks. Hitler would not even allow for a counter narrative to form in his country while he was governing said country. But Donald Trump, man, he's a buffoon to a lot of y'all. He's a joke. But yeah, I look at Donald Trump's uncle, man. John Trump was assigned by the American government to look at Nikola Tesla's notebooks when he passed. When they got rid of Nikola Tesla, the one who said he was talking to aliens for all this advanced technology. And why did an advanced civilization allegedly give the Nazis all the secrets to the technology and nobody else but the Nazis? And why did the government over here brought them over here if they such monsters? I'm trying to figure out, why we can't understand and how to heighten the contradictions of the situation we found ourselves. And it's this detach our emotions from the whole thing. Because I saw people talking about, well, Donald Trump is an idiot. No, he's smart. Donald Trump knows how to read the crowd. He know how to read the room. He's very media savvy. He understands. He know how to flip it. He's a magician. He's a car salesman. He's like with Dion. Dion's good at messaging things. And y'all hear something that Dion said he didn't say. He said, look, I'll be a fool not to entertain a Power 5 school, right? He said what his intentions was. He never said he gonna be there for 20, 30 years at Jackson State. He said, I'm gonna look at offers. That means man on the move. And you're a coach. It's like ain't no guarantee they're gonna love you next year, baby. It's like if Dion went 5-27, would y'all care about him leaving Jackson State? Everybody loves a winner. Everybody loves a winner, but nobody wants to claim a loser. That's how this goes. And then with the Trump thing, like I said, I don't really trust the election results. I look at Georgia. They said Herschel lost by this many votes. They said Brian Kemp won by this many votes. I don't know. Because the same folks that said Donald Trump has lost his way, yeah, his NFTs all sold out at a time where people are having second thoughts about cryptocurrency and that FTX scandal with the young kid that y'all, he just a kid, hit all them sports stars like Shaquille O'Neal saying, I was just a spokesperson. I didn't invest. I was a spokesperson. People losing their lives and minds. Like it's a stock market crash of 29. Suiciding themselves. You remember like a bunch of bankers been getting killed up, for several years, for the past decades. There's been a lot of banker suicides. Y'all aware of that, right? Like there've been a lot of holistic doctors getting suicided or taken out of here. A lot of bankers have been getting suicided over the last decade or so. A lot of holistic people have been getting eliminated over the last decade or so. And where we find ourselves now, post-pandemic, inflation, the great inflation, about to have a recession, or we are in a recession. It's like, it's weird. I go to the grocery store. I spend $50, but I'm only getting $20. I'm only getting $20 worth of stuff, but I'm spending $50. Make that make sense. So there you go. Yeah, I mean, I got a patreon.com. Like, yeah, it's set up like patreon.com at /we all be. But also I'm working on some things. We get into things all about the great reinvention, the great reset. Yes, it's patreon.com / down there. Oh yeah, Luna, she need a Patreon actually. Yeah, cotton and eggs. Like sometimes, I mean, it depends what you're getting. It's close to $4. We got cotton and eggs. It's closer to $4 now than $3.50. Like about, I saw some cotton and eggs at the $3.89. Yeah, Dr. Sebi, they took him out of here. Nipsey was working on that documentary and they took Nipsey out of here. I'm not saying that was the cause, but when he announced that he was doing the documentary about Sebi. Trump living his best life. Yeah, he doing the best he can, but like what they trying to make DeSantis next year is not 2023, it's not 2024, it's 2023. And maybe some people believe that Donald Trump made a mistake by announcing early. I don't necessarily agree because they're giving Donald Trump free publicity. Donald Trump's a marketing genius because he's taking advantage of how much the news talk more about Trump than they do about Biden. You would think by watching the news that Trump was still in the office. And he's taking advantage because like what people can learn from Trump is that you see how they use the legal system against him and how they try to punish his Trump organization. And they doing all this stuff, like you said, well, the candidates that he endorsed, they all lost. They didn't all lose. Majority of the people he endorsed, they won their respective offices. Majority of the people he endorsed, they won their respective offices. And the people that they love, like the Brian Kemps and the DeSantis, Donald Trump King made those guys. When they had their first run at the governor's office, they needed his assistance to put them over the top. And people have short memories. They soon to forget the cats that put them in position to win. And Donald Trump put them guys in position to win. But I don't. But it's hard to talk to my people about that because they got these ideas about. I mean, it's weird, man. Like, damn, I said, I wish y'all gave Biden the same treatment and scrutiny as you do Trump. And Biden has the track record for the scrutiny. And I don't know. Maybe could, but people forget that Trump was a Democrat at first. I mean, Trump is, he know how to. He's a carpetbagger when it comes to politics, man. He know how to move around. He a carpetbagger, but I'm just saying, like, it ain't over till it's over, man. I don't put my hopes and dreams. It's like them Bernie bros, man. Bernie Sanders sold out his own constituents, his own base. Back in 2016, he knew what the Clinton machine was doing. He knew what the Democratic people were doing. The leaders of the party was trying to get everything for Hillary, and they were neglecting the base that was starving for what Bernie had to offer. But Bernie sold his own people out. He wasn't standing with his Bernie bros. And he supposed to be an independent. He don't even supposed to be like a Democratic socialist or whatever he was or is, whatever. He's a limousine liberal too. Bernie Sanders is a millionaire too. Anyway, I think that's enough about Trump. Let me see. Hey, everybody, this is Brother Ron. I am asking you all to do me a big favor. Think about supporting the We All Be movement. Your donation is tax deductible. The We All Be Group Incorporated is a recognized 501c3. And I'm just asking you all because I want to keep on bringing y'all quality work through the way that I know how to do best. And I'm going to sing my praises and toot my horn. A lot of y'all were not hip to Dick Gregory until Brother Ron brought him on the We All Be platform, until that Django review we did. Y'all seen another side of Judge Joe Brown, and Judge Joe Brown's message has been amplified. But it was We All Be that brought Judge Joe Brown to y'all back in 2014. And so many others. And we covered so many things. So help us out so we can help you all. Peace.